Well, good evening and welcome, everybody. It's Ukraine Update with the Shills. We're going to be taking a deep dive into all the comings and goings of the orcs as they stomple their feet across the lovely terrain of Ukraine. And, you know, we wish them to get the hell out of there. We got a couple of us that are a tiny bit late showing up still. That's why we were a couple of minutes going late. Operator Starsky's a couple of minutes late today, but no big deal. We haven't heard from him, so we know he's going to be here in a few. And we've got some links and some news articles we want to bring up to get going as well. So I think we're pretty much well covered to wait a few minutes for the rest of the crew. So let's do quick introductions here, see what everybody's up to and whatnot. Aimee, how about you take us through and, you know, say hi to everybody.
I sure will do that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the next edition of our... I know it says midweek and it's now Friday, but it was a recent change we made from Thursday, so which was closer to midweek. So, but we'll change that pretty soon. We'll think of something. So let's get right around in the room and see who's with us. I'm going to start out with Claire Bear. Claire, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you tonight? I feel good for a Friday. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday, right?
Excellent. Yes, it is. It's finally Friday.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then next up, we have Fallacy Dave. Dave, how are you?
Manic, mental, everything's on fire.
Oh,
Other than that, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Can't complain. Small amount of fire.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, hopefully the drought's not too bad. You having drought conditions in your area?
A little bit. I mean, it's been it's now raining this week. It was very hot last week.
Yes.
Which was, yes, it has been quite tricky in the South UK, sort of mainland Europe generally. You look at the map actually, and it gets quite startlingly high. I mean, you look at it, and there's some places in France that have gone up to like 46 or something like that. It's mental. It's crazy.
That's insanity. That's awful. I can't imagine.
This week it's calmed down. It's much nicer. It's been raining. It's dropped 10 degrees for us. So yeah, all good.
Excellent. Excellent. That's awesome. Good news. So thank you very much. And next up, last but not least for right now, we have Dick Dawson. Dick, how are you this evening?
Oh, good. Except I want to give a big shout out to YouTube. Now, people, check this out. You know, when we go live, there's a couple of seconds of that whistling. I put that in just to let YouTube have a 10 seconds to sync up with the live stream and get us going. It's kind of like a wasted spot. But then we transition to that South Park, Colorado background, and we all say, hey, how's it going? What's happening? And, you know, it's the standby. It's the 3-minute countdown to let everybody show up. We were demonetized for ads, turned yellow. So you basically get no ads on your stream and YouTube won't help promote you very much and stuff. Within 30 seconds of that cartoon intro going live. So thanks, YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, for being so harsh on us that, I mean, we didn't even do anything. So thanks for that. And I do have something that I'm going to bring up during pub chat after this show, where YouTube let a huge chunk of scammers get millions and millions of music royalties that weren't even theirs because their system is so hands off. They just didn't care. Aimee, you can probably continue intros now, and then we'll get to yourself.
Oh, sure. Yes. Hey, we've got someone else with us tonight. We have Mallory's Asylum. Mallory, how are you?
I am here. Hello, peoples.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yay.
welcome.
Yes.
Good to see you here.
Yes. Well, now I'm all shy and such, but yes, hello.
Well, it's brilliant. It's good to have you back. Yay.
Yeah, that's right. Let me thank the Shills and Dick for everyone who made it possible. Yes, once again, for my return. Again. Thank you. Yes. Yep. Thank you. A lot has happened since then, and I've been kind of busy all around, but we're trucking. We're getting here. We're getting there. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mallory, is the new connection good and speedy? Like, do you notice? Is it good?
Yeah. Oh my God. So I get so the guy shows up, right, to check if my internet's all right. And he's like, good to go, right? But the box came after. So I open the box and there's only like one cord. So I plug it in and I'm like, because my last modem, right, it had like so many cords. It was, and and I didn't know the Wi-Fi password, so I called tech support, and they're just laughing because I'm like, it doesn't say what my password is. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm just freaking out. Like, and he's like, well, tell me what's at the bottom, and then it obviously has like another word. It doesn't say like Wi-Fi password. It said something else, right? I was like, oh, I found it. I'm good. This is going to be the easiest call you're going to get for this thing. And he's just laughing. I don't know what happened, right? But I'm just spewing and I'm like, thank you. But yeah, it's easy. It's breezy. I had no complaints or anything else like that.
Excellent.
So, oh yeah, we are golden. We are golden. I didn't tell my family I had Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So they're not going to email me for a long time. So it's kind of nice. I'm keeping this shit down low.
There we go.
Hey Jogger, hey Waffle Twat, hey Milky, hey everybody. All right. Yep.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Well, we should get to Aimee then. How's things your way, Aimee?
Hey, pretty good, thank you. We're doing very well. We've, things are cooking right along here. We've, looking forward to this week and getting some updates and hoping that everyone is okay and safe. It's been an interesting summer so far. Someone starts school a week from Monday. And I think one of the things that we could probably segue into is I found an article with the latest updates from Ukraine until someone else gets here. I'm sorry, I'm not Starsky, but
I can't bring that up. Being out of the United States, it's paywalled.
Okay.
I do have some Al Jazeera links up because they will let me view from Canada.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, if you could, we can look at those and see what we've got going on. And excellent.
Yeah,
so Al Jazeera. Okay.
Yeah, a big one that I saw that I wanted to bring up was the U.S. is preparing an additional $800 million in military aid for Ukraine.
Excellent.
That's a big ass number, man.
That's a huge number. Very, very big.
Yeah. I mean, some military equipment is pretty expensive and all, but still, that's a big number.
That's huge.
That is.
So I hope it's all kinds of, launching from afar and lots of orc killing goodness in that package. Let's see here. The United States is readying about $800 million of additional military aid to Ukraine and could announce the plan as soon as Friday. Three sources familiar with the matter have told Reuters news agency. President Biden would authorize the assistance using his presidential drawdown authority, which allows the president to approve the transfer of excess weapons from U.S. stocks. So we're not talking about here's some cash. Hopefully you can get stuff. It's wow. Do we have warehouses full? We're sending this shit to you. That's big.
Excellent. Yep. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, definitely.
They had approved some, but it wasn't going to go through to after the budget, like October. And it was going to be too much of a delay. And that's why they're doing this extra and additional, anything that they can pull ahead that he can use whatever executive privilege he has to do excess to get more help there faster. Because, they have stuff targeted, but everything takes so long. It just,
Definitely.
That was good.
Definitely. So this works out really well, too. Yeah.
And here's one. There was more blasts in Russian-held areas far from Ukraine front lines. Ukraine hopes new ability to hit Russian targets deep behind front lines can turn the tide of war.
Oh,
So here, I'll
Wow.
just get into the first paragraphs here. So explosions were reported overnight near military bases deep within Russian-held areas of Ukraine and inside Russia's territory itself, as Ukrainian forces appear to be demonstrating their ability to wreak havoc on Moscow's logistics far from the front lines. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Suckmyballs said in a televised remark on Friday that statements from Ukrainian officials about striking facilities in Russian-occupied Crimea mark an escalation of the conflict openly encouraged by the United States and its NATO allies. Suck my balls. Wow, is that a reach? You, Sergei, suck my balls, buddy. Fuck.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, and this is not good because the article continues and it says deep and open U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine effectively puts the U.S. on the brink of becoming a party to the conflict. Ryabkov said, "We don't want an escalation. We would like to avoid a situation where the U.S. becomes a party to the conflict. But so far, we haven't seen their readiness to deeply and seriously consider those warnings," he said. So that's quite interesting as well. So it looks
Yeah.
like because we are sending aid over there and things like that, it is looking like they're gonna step up their threats to the U.S. So this isn't a good thing.
Well, that just would make us a party to it. I don't really think they want that, but if they
I
do,
know.
Mhm.
you know,
No.
this, we're sending the excess, but it's not like we don't have regular. Like I don't know. Like
Right.
how many fronts they want to fight on anyway? Yeah, really?
Well, that's it. Even if, and we don't even have to use nuclear weapons and we could just go right in with and just push them right back.
Mhm.
Okay, you're back in.
Yep.
You're back in Russia.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Are you saying we're going to send Russia to their room, Aimee? Wouldn't it be
Yes,
nice?
we are.
Go to your room,
Timeout.
boys.
They're in timeout.
Time
Do you
out.
want me to turn Europe right around here? It can happen. So
It's
yeah.
happened before. It's happened before, but Russia, short-term memory and all that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Seems big time.
Exactly. They've forgotten. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What a lot of us
Here's
remember.
another one I wanted to bring up. Finland says Russian MiG-31 fighter jets violated its airspace.
Ooh.
Yeah. Finnish Air Force sent up an operational flight mission and identified the planes, and the border guard launched an investigation into the violation.
Ooh.
So we got two Russian MiG-31 fighter jets are suspected of violating Finnish airspace near the coastal city of Porvoo on the Gulf of Finland. The suspected violation happened at 6:40 GMT Thursday, and the jets were westbound. The Defense Ministry's communications chief, Christian Vakuri, said adding the aircraft were in Finnish airspace for 2 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're really starting to push it, and they're starting to push hard in there. It's that's kind of scary in and of itself too. So
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a few stories of that in the UK of might be both planes and boats actually just sort of violating a little bit of space, probably just testing our systems and just to see our response time kind of thing.
absolutely. And they've been testing over in Alaska too. They test every once in a while.
Mhm.
You'll hear of you'll hear of them crossing over into the US's airspace as well. And there have been submarines along the coast before, some during the Cold War. I can remember some hearing about them, and then some, I'm sure some now near Alaska and everything like that. You'll find submarines and things like that. So yeah, it sounds like they're pushing right now.
Very
They're
much.
poking, and yeah. And it's interesting to see what they're going to do because it looks like they're trying to provoke. So,
Maybe they're nervous. It's deflection.
right. They're acting up because like kids, they're nervous. So what do? They act out. So yeah, that's what it seems like to me. But yeah, we've intercepted some before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big topic, I think. What happens if Ukraine's Zaporizhia nuclear plant goes? Like this is that contested one that's being held right now. The International Atomic Energy Agency has raised alarms about the shelling that has taken place at the Russian-controlled nuclear power plant in Ukraine, saying the current situation poses a great risk and could lead to a nuclear disaster. Those are scary words.
Those are scary. Very scary.
Right?
Yeah. Well, you never want to see anything happen to the plant like that. That's going to cause major casualties, damage, like unbelievable damage everywhere. It'd be hard. Yeah. You don't want to see any plant like that get attacked.
And they're both saying that each is attacking the other and so on. And well, it's because it's being fought over. So, but it's scary that something like that can even be involved, right?
No.
Nuke stuff, nuclear stuff is pretty freaky, right? Which way is the weather blowing? Where's the fallout going? Oh my dear God. It's just, I hope nothing like that ever happens.
I know. It's kind of scary when you think about it. You think, is it going to be another Chernobyl? Is it going to be Fukushima? What is it going to be like? What's going to happen there?
Yeah. Right. It's
Scary.
Yeah. So
very scary.
Yeah. And let's see here. There was a couple other headlines I could bring up as well. But I mean, just the thought of nuclear accidents.
Yep.
It's scary. Like, you don't like that, just even a leak or anything, you see what happens when either there's even a regular malfunction of any type. All of the warnings, all of the having to pull back, all of the years that it takes to get rid of anything from a leak or all, to actually go after a plant like that is really going to cause major problem. It doesn't get contained just to that small area. It's going to go. But that is the problem with war, I guess, right? They're not going to be very kind in their targets. Also, I did see some articles about them picking up some of the targeting areas in the civilian areas, like that they were targeting areas like that just to make a point. And to me, that's not necessary. I mean, they got plenty of actual military targets to go for and, keep war.
Robsky in the chat saying intelligence agencies are predicting a false flag operation at the power station. Not good.
What is that? Oh, translation, please.
A
false flag operation is what?
Somebody else says by Russia. I'm not the best to give a definition of false flag, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I figured. Well, maybe they mean the Russians are saying they're going to attack it and they're not. Like that they're just putting scared or something.
Wow. Oh, we got a super chat in.
Yep.
We sure did. Thank you so much. It's from Boston Dan 77 for $1.99 US. Says, will it be considered a nuclear dirty bomb on NATO? That is a very good question.
Yeah. Oh, and Charlie, thank you, Charlie, for giving the definition. That then when they say that there's a false flag, basically it is inventing a story where there is none, just to, story headline stuff, just to get it out there. So it was kind of along that line. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. And then also we have a super chat from Poutine will hang in the middle of the Kremlin for Australian $10 with no message. But if you have a question or a comment, please let us know and we'll read it out on the air for you. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you, everyone.
That name, though, Putin hang will hang in the middle of Kremlin. That's fucking brilliant, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
just
is a
had to
good
say,
idea.
yeah, I just had to say that. Kudos on that name.
Yeah. There's been a couple other definitions of false flag come up in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
So I want to, this is why I was not willing to take it, because we got Simon Shorthouse says false flag is when Russia says that Ukraine is planning something and then Russia then goes and does it themselves.
Oh, so that's what he means by planting the story. They're going to say Ukraine is attacking their power plant to get everybody mad at the Ukrainians there all over the place, that they would cause that kind of an accident. So I guess it's the same thing. It's just more detail on the definition, right? They're planting a false story. They just, like they would do it and then blame it on the Ukrainians. That's nasty. That's shady. Well,
I'm going to do up an animation of Putin hanging in the middle of the Kremlin just to honor that username.
I love how Amy pronounces it poutine as well.
Oh.
Just imagine the
it's
cheesy
right?
gravy-based chips are just sort of hanging,
Yeah, believe me,
dripping.
they are so much better than the other ones. Yeah, but it's so you don't have to curse, right? Because when
Exactly.
you say the name, it's like foul coming out of your mouth, right?
It is. It is. It's a naughty word. So yeah, isn't it, Mal? Yeah.
Oh.
So that's
Absolutely.
yes. So it's naughty, and it's not something I would usually say. So that's why
Right?
you have to call him curds and and
No.
gravy, right?
No.
Yes.
Oh. We should give Poutine the old Sulu salute here, and then we'll
Your
move on.
intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
And by stupid, I mean idiot. He's great. I like him.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's a fave.
So, let's see here. There was a couple other things in the communications that I had put aside. Let's see here.
Oh, in the meantime, Mallory, is it true you don't eat poutine? Don't tell me. You're Canadian. What?
I love poutine.
What? Okay, all right. I saw.
But it has to be good though. It has to be like authentic. Like there was a few chip trucks because I live by the river and stuff. So there's a few chip trucks they'll be like, oh, we were selling poutine, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. So I go and they use like instead of cheese curds, right? They use like shredded matzo cheese, and I was like,
That's not.
I was like, what? And I'll say it with the most like thick French accent, like this is despicable. This you can't call it
Yeah, it's just apropos. You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
like get the fuck out of here.
What?
Shit.
No cheese
Yeah.
curds. Oh,
Yeah.
like, you got to make that big noise, like with the big gob in your throat.
Oh,
like when
yeah.
you're like, oh, like, oh.
Yeah.
Zut alors.
Yes.
I'm feeling you, Valerie. Like, I'm surprised that you're still in business. Like, damn.
I just go around. I'm a poutine connoisseur. You know what I mean? But it's funny. We had this place. They specialize just in poutine. And this one French guy I know. He's a big boy, right? So he knows his food, right? And I never went to that. So I said. So one day I was like, "Did you check out that poutine place?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It wasn't worth it." I gave him like a few words or two, and I could just imagine him being a big French guy, right, with like the lumber jacket, just giving shit to this fucking company. But I was like, man, I should just go into all these French people are giving this company shit because they can't make a poutine whatsoever. They went under business, by the way. They should. They should. Yeah,
they should. No cheese curds, and they actually tried to sell that as poutine.
Yeah. I had no regrets. Yep.
That's just wrong.
Yep.
You got the chat speaking French. I love it.
I know. I do too.
Yes,
It's funny.
Just a little tabarnak over here. Just that's it. Yep.
I love it.
Oh
know.
God! Oh man!
Oh, now here's a question. Just going off on a tangent, right?
Mhm.
When it comes to war crimes and generally bombing lots of people, we tend to not do that in the civilized world. We instead have to have things democratically voted for, which in turn loses the surprise element of whatever it is that we're doing. Is there an argument to say there should be stripped back layers of democracy when it comes to that sort of thing? Could we just leave it to a smaller number of people, or should we continue with the losing our sort of surprise advantage? How do you balance that? What do we think? What do we reckon?
Oh, that's a big one, Dave. Like, you,
Why I
would-
ask the questions?
yeah,
I don't answer them.
I want to believe in this world, if it is a war, that I want government out and I want the military and those forces to actually make that decision for me on whether they're going to cross it. I do believe in, the Geneva Convention and NATO and all, in saying where we should go and where we shouldn't. But I would think that our forces would actually keep that in mind and only do things that are absolutely necessary and take risks that are necessary, and still be able to use the element of surprise by not going through all these channels to get these things done. But there are danger areas that sometimes, you do have to go through those channels. But I would like more power for those decisions to be for the people that are actually there, seeing it with their own eyes and having to deal with it, and making the kind, to save more lives, because they may be crossing a line to save more people in the long run. Like, those philosophical questions about the train, right? Like, are you going to get this guy on this track with the one, or the 5 over here that have a deadly disease that are going to die anyway? Those kind of decisions. Like, there's never a right answer, but you have to put yourself in the position. You want the people with more information making it, not somebody sitting behind a desk somewhere going, well, there's a rule about this. I think, anyway. That's my opinion on it anyway.
I definitely agree.
I'll throw it out there. Yeah.
Yeah. That is, the ones who have experience and the ones who see the conditions on the ground and see the things in real time probably should have more decision-making power than they do.
Because I think they're aware, right, Aimee? Aren't they aware of the Geneva and NATO, and they don't want their forces treated a certain way or to cross lines into our country? So they are going to have boundaries. It's not like they're going to run amok, but they do have more information than legislation or the rule makers at the time, because we're talking war here.
Exactly.
Fast, fluid, situational, changing all the time, war. And there's more people to protect than the rules. And we hope that there would be good people in charge. Now, it could go right, because there will be dishonest agents like, shall we say, Russia, that will use something like that to go against, but they're not going to cooperate with NATO or the Geneva, all of that anyway. They don't care, anyway. So,
right.
We just have to think that the people that we put in charge right there, boots on the ground, would be able to do this, and those higher up, in the military, take care of it themselves.
Exactly.
I want to throw it, if I may, I'll throw it out to the live chat as well. So Milky60 was asking, the targets aren't chosen democratically or publicly, so what's Dave on about? Honestly, half the time I don't know what I'm on about, so don't worry about it. But in terms of this specific example, no, the targets themselves aren't chosen, but we know that they're not going to target some coastal village somewhere, but they are going to, target a Kiev, Paris, or London, major cities with lots of people. There's going to be lots of death, and so if we do vote for certain things and certain measures to use certain weapons, the question is, should we have, say, for example, should we have a president or a prime minister, wherever you are, that has unlimited sovereignty and that they can just have the decision to go, we're using nukes right now? Or do you have to go to Parliament and say, we have to vote for it first. And that then sort of is typically broadcasted live, unless it's not. So you have to lose that sort of step of transparency with the public. And there's, various different ethics that come from those sort of decisions.
I'm not really up on the current process of how we do that here in the United States, except for to know that we do have a war room with all of the top generals of every type and everything, and that our president is the commander in chief and is in on all of those meetings, and the cabinet, and the secretary of state, everybody involved that would have anything to do with other countries and with the military in general, and that they make those decisions together. I believe it's how it was. But then again, when you had something like the last time we used a nuclear weapon, like who actually made that decision? Who actually did that? I'm not sure, because I think they have to take everything into consideration. But there is a lot of people involved. It's not just one. We don't have just one. We can make the issue known, but they hear everything. But I think the president is actually what they call, when they don't call him commander in chief or nothing, he is the absolute top of the military in our country, and the man who has control of the button, plus another person. There's like keys involved for nuclear weapons, and there's like more than one person involved to do it, and it has to be passed down with an official decree. Like, you can't just do it. So at least that's how at least that's how I remember it. And if it's changed, please, somebody feel free to educate me, because I would want to learn and not want to give out any misinformation. Well, that's how I remember. But
yeah, I mean, the question really just entails what is like an optimal objective decision rather than what the current state of things are. So, for example, you bring up a good point about whether one person should have sovereignty, and that's the leader. You have to make sure they're not criminally insane, which typically the public isn't necessarily very good at, because the people who go for that sort of level of power are typically sort of narcissistic kind of people who would do very successfully at getting to the top, statistically anyway. So then you have to say, well, maybe there's a board of people, there's a number of people, like if you leave it to a cabinet, for example, that is elected by that leader, prime minister or whatever, that means those people that are voting on it, so like 20, 30 people, and if you need like a 60 or 70% majority voting in favor of something, those people can be sacked on a whim by that leader. So then you'd have to go one step further and say all of Parliament, all of the members would then have to vote for it, and vote for probably very specific measures, because they don't just vote once. They go in and they vote on a particular measure, and then at least in the UK they have about 8 minutes to go through and vote, and it's a sort of can be an hour, 2 hour long process that goes off into the night. So yeah.
Well, there's a record in the chat brings an American issue up that is a perfect example of when you're keeping something secret. It was when they went after Osama bin Laden in an actual town that was populated, by civilians everywhere. They kept that all secret to keep the mission and thing, and they did it in a certain way, but that all had to be voted on how and what. But the president actually had to approve that mission in that area because of the where it was. They were hiding in a heavily populated civilian area, and so you don't want to go in there and do a lot of damage to the other people's property and the civilians and everything, and cause any unnecessary damage to them, but you still want the target. So there's lots of secret missions where they make decisions on their own outside, and don't tell anybody about it. It doesn't go through a big vote. It's just a plan that the military has. They run it by, let everybody know, and he says yes or no, go. But that is the commander in the chief. Obama had to sanction that mission for it to happen because of where it was and the fallout that would happen afterwards. And you would want that. You want to be well informed. You don't want the military making decisions that you're going to have to answer for as the president or the cabinet or the legislation, that you're going to have to answer to other people around the world if anything happened. So he needed to be part of the decision and the final yes or no. And Sleet also reminded me that Harry S. Truman is the one who finally said to push the button on the last time we used the nuclear weapon. It did have to come from the commander-in-chief. They had to say yes or no on those kinds of things, but they do take everybody into consideration. They listen to the experts. It's not like they're going, well, I know everything and, yes or no, I want to do this. They listen to the advice of the military, the heads of the military that come in to advise them. They listen to their cabinet. They take in all the information. It's not like the final looks like a unilateral decision, but it's really not, because a lot of information is given from all areas. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Aimee, did you want me to bring that article up for you?
Yes, please, because this is pretty concerning as well as far as what's going on in the area and is something for consideration as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Donetsk leader calls for beneficial ties with North Korea. That title alone just... Okay, we're done here. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's not a good sign. And it says... Separatist leader Denis Pushilin expressed hope that North Korea and Donetsk could achieve equally beneficial relations. That is really not good. Yeah, the head of the Russian proxy forces in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk region has sent a message to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un calling for cooperation amid signs Pyongyang is considering laborers for restoration projects in Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine. In his comments sent Monday, Donetsk separatist leader Denis Pushilin expressed hope that his Moscow-backed republic and North Korea could achieve equally beneficial bilateral cooperation, agreeing with the interests of their people, the North's official Korean Central News Agency reported on Wednesday. So that is very bad. Oh, yes, I did subtle knife. Very sorry. You switched the letters. And it's perfect. Yes, thank you. He will be level 7.
Oh, you do so much better at that than I do. I can read all the words except for the hard ones, and then I just stumble and fall on my face so bad it's not funny.
It's okay. Thank you. But I do like subtle knife's change of the name. I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not good.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's with all the sanctions against North Korea, it's going to be a lot of sanctions against them as well if they keep it up. And yeah, and Nancy's right. That's a false flag. And I'm just going to grab that super chat really fast. We've got our favorite username, Poutine will hang in the middle of the Kremlin for Australian $5, says, Poutine is surely missing orange dye oozing down in between his inner thighs.
Oh. What a visual.
Thank you so much. That is quite a visual. That's just brilliant. Thank you so much.
I'm triggering a gag for that.
Could it be?
Yeah.
I do believe it was. Yeah.
I think so. And Broomfondle was right. He said North Korean civilians already work abroad illegally in many countries. Their wages go direct to the North Korean government, which is really bad.
Well, there was an article. I'm trying to find it in the background, and I will bring it up when I can find it. But there's reports that Chinese soldiers are heading over to Russia for training exercises.
Oh.
I'm trying to find the damn article because I don't want to look like an idiot just spewing it from my bunghole. But I did read this. I did.
That's talent, actually.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. No bung required. Okay, here we go. Yeah, China to send troops to Russia for joint military exercises.
Oh. Ouch. Okay.
Yeah. I would continue reading, but if Aimee would choose to, I'm sure it will be much more coherent.
Sure. It says the Vostok drills are due to start at the end of the month and will also include India, Belarus, Mongolia, and Tajikistan. Wow. Okay. So they're all going to have this little joint thing. And it says Chinese troops will travel to Russia to take part in joint military exercises that will start at the end of the month, Beijing's defense ministry has said. Last month, Moscow announced plan to hold Vostok East military drills from August 30th to September 5th, saying some foreign forces could also take part without naming them. Yikes. Beijing and
Wow.
Moscow. Yeah, that's really not good. It says Beijing and Moscow have close defense links, and China has said it wants to push bilateral relations to a higher level, even as Moscow faces international sanctions and widespread condemnation over its February 24th invasion of Ukraine. The aim is to deepen practical and friendly cooperation with the armies of participating countries, enhance the level of strategic collaboration among the participating parties, and strengthen the ability to respond to various security threats, the Chinese Defense Ministry said in a statement. India, Belarus, Mongolia, Tajikistan, and other countries will also participate, it said. Relations between Russia and China have grown increasingly close under Chinese President Xi Jinping and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, and Beijing has been under pressure for its opposition to sanctions imposed by many Western countries over the war. Shortly before the invasion, Moscow and Beijing agreed on a no-limits partnership. Beijing said its decision to participate in the joint exercises was unrelated to the current international and regional situation. A year ago this month, Russia and China held joint military exercises in north-central China involving more than 10,000 troops. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu praised the drills in China's Ningxia and suggested that they could be developed further. In October, Russia and China held joint naval drills in the Sea of Japan. Days later, Russian and Chinese warships held their first joint patrols in the Western Pacific. The following month, South Korea's military said it had scrambled fighter jets after 2 Chinese and 7 Russian warplanes intruded into its air defense identification zone during what Beijing called regular training. So they're
Wow.
really starting to step things up and push and push.
If they start doing like actual military active operations together, it's really going to change things.
Yes, it
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, NATO will have to step up in a bigger way then, because there's no way.
Absolutely. Because there are a lot of things going on over there. Like, we have to worry about, Taiwan next. You got to worry about them joining together to defend what's going on in Ukraine. And that could be a bad thing. And they probably don't want any of the other countries to join NATO, that are joining, that want to. And that could be very bad as well. So, not good. Not good. And Ali did say that NATO is going into Latvia, so that's also an interesting thing as well.
Jeez.
So what do we all think of these exercises going on?
They need to back the fuck off.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it looks a little too much.
I suspect they won't, though.
What does it say about China's position here? Knowing the world's opposition to what Russia's doing, China being involved with Russia to this level pre-invasion, I mean, it really shows that, China's not looking overly friendly to the rest of the world at the moment. And if they do this, if they do exercises now with what's going on, I mean, the big players can't let that go, right?
Yeah. But with the other story before about, with Russia also making some noises, it may be that they are forcing the card with them based on their trade agreements and everything to get some help. Maybe it is looking a little worse for Russia. To me, I'm looking at it, it's not really that bad a sign as far as the Russian end. It looks like they may be reaching out for some assistance. So if they need an ally, then they don't have the holds that they think they have or doing as well as they think they have. So that's
exactly.
but then again, what do I know about war? I don't know. But to me, that was the first thing I thought when you started reading the article. I'm like, that's interesting. Why? Because really, China doesn't have that much to benefit from these, does it? Why would they do this? It has to have to do with their trade agreements and everything with Russia. There had to be some carrot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Roomfondle had an interesting comment in the chat too. They said China is in a bad way financially. They have those odd things going on where people invest in unfinished buildings that no one wants to buy. I don't think they're in any shape for a fight. It seems like they're just putting on a show right now, and let's hope that's what the case is.
Yeah, that's a topic I promoted for an upcoming Uncalled For show on Sunday, is this ridiculous Chinese situation where everybody owns these, it's not finished to move in condos, and they're an investment, and they sell it to the next person and to the next person, and people pay so much for them that you could never rent it and make a profit. It's impossible. It's just a way of acquiring wealth. But all the banks and whatnot that back the loans for all these realtors and so on that keep building all this stuff have finally stopped extending the loans. And now the whole situation's about to crumble.
Yeah, there's a comment in the chat. A commenter, Jujujululala. I like that name. It's
what?
Says that they have whole ghost cities, and then they really do. It's weird.
Yeah,
a real estate is and bad international debt crisis. Chester 772 said 70% of China's economy is underwater on bad real estate. Cubal said. So
it's a disaster. It had no option but to pop as a massive bubble because of the way they've been doing it for so long. It was a joke. I don't know what they were thinking, but
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and they definitely could house the homeless alley. You're right. That could be something they could do with it, but it doesn't look like they're going to. So
yeah. I mean, they could literally take in an average sized country's population and just say, here you go. We got 4 or 5 cities. Everybody grab a spot. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
But I know. We'll have to dive into that on a different show for sure coming up because it's an interesting topic. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And yeah, because there are a whole bunch of great comments on that in the chat too. So yeah, that would make a great show.
but it does lend a huge thing to why China would ally itself to somebody who, might be a better, trade partner and stuff than the U.S. has been with, 5G and Huawei and all these companies being banned and so on. And, the Western countries got sick of the bullshit, right? And so, maybe they feel pushed that way, but long term, that's no better a strategy than you just did with this whole building cities for nothing BS. I mean, it just seems that their intense desire to not be Western is just driving bad decisions. I mean,
yes.
I don't know.
I want to throw something in there because have you seen the alternatives now that we've pulled out of places like Russia? You actually see a very common pattern with the Russians and the Chinese, which is that they make these cheap knockoff brands. Have you seen the new Starbucks? It's like Stars Coffee, and it's got a really similar logo in Russia. See, that's a really positive thing for the West to know that our culture is something that they are still latching onto. The people of these countries, not necessarily the leaders. The leaders will spout all sorts of nonsense, but on the ground, I think people are appreciative of the stuff that capitalism brings, and freedom, being able to speak openly, I hope that continues.
Yes, it needs to.
Ultimately, it's the embedded thing in people. You can't really restrict people forever. They're going to revolt eventually.
Yeah. No matter how heavy-handed you are and whatnot, it will eventually happen. What was that short guy from France? He tell you. Oh, my doorbell just rang. 1 second. Sorry,
okay.
everybody. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
Sure. Not a problem. Yeah, let's see. Do we have any good comments in the chat? Yeah, Matthew SoCal says China actually counts on countries defaulting on their loans because they receive the land that is defaulted. It's in their contracts. News report was done on this a couple years back.
Wow.
Interesting. So yeah, that's something that they're doing too. So they're waiting for that sort of thing. So that's bad. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So-
hello.
Yeah.
We have a guest joining
Hello.
us.
We
Whoa.
do.
Yes,
Oh,
we
thank
do.
goodness. Hello, Starsky.
Thank you for being so patient.
Good
Hey,
evening,
buddy.
everybody. Hey. I'm really sorry about tonight because, guys, my phone died while I was enrolled. Unfortunately, I wasn't
Oh.
able to charge it because, yeah.
Mhm.
But
Not a
I'm back.
problem.
Well,
Good.
we're
Glad you're
glad
safe.
you're okay. We're glad you're safe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We pretty much talked about Ukraine the whole time so far with a little China diversion there, but with the training exercises coming up, it worked out. But I think we almost carried it, buddy. But glad to have you. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So, how are you doing?
Doing well,
Great.
thank you. How
Yeah,
about
great
yourself?
here. 1 second, everybody. There's a little girl with a scooter and the handlebars are loose, so I got to get an Allen key and tighten it up for her. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So everybody's doing well, I hope. So
Yeah.
good. So what are any new updates today, Starsky?
Literally spent whole day in the training camp and didn't really follow the news. But we still have some news regarding the invasion from Belarus that didn't happen, and according to Pentagon, we know that it not going to happen anytime soon because Belarus will disappear literally. That's according to Pentagon, and we also know that yesterday one of our biggest charity funds have bought a satellite for Ukraine. So that it was in the news. So we have like one of the most famous volunteers here, volunteer in the meaning of like chief of the charity fund, and he announced that soon we will have to change all of our memes regarding Bayraktars and stuff like that because something is coming. And we were like what does it mean? Because we thought like some people thought that they have bought like a bunch of HIMARS systems, which again, like I couldn't believe it because it's impossible. Some people were talking that probably they bought like airplanes, which again not really possible. I thought that probably this fund has ordered or purchased a bunch of drones, like Ukrainian-made drones, because they already did some announcements regarding this, but they have purchased a satellite. And so it's a It's a network of satellites that use photo scanning as well as radio scanning. From what I know, I'm not a big specialist in satellites, but we know that those satellites provide very, very clear pictures of the area, just like those that were used by Google Maps. And we can literally see what happens in Ukraine and around Ukraine in the real time, or close to that. And we can make assessment of the situation very, very fast. So yeah, and now we're joking that instead of drones, this guy has bought like a Death Star for Ukraine.
That's so cool. That is so awesome. I'm just going to jump in real fast with a super chat from Nancy for $4.99 US. Has a pair sticker that says, "Keep it up." Thank you so much, Nancy. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, again, today we've been working all day in the on the training camp, and because it's a different training camp that we used to use, unfortunately had to spend like a couple hours en route, and this is when I realized that I cannot text you guys, but I hope that everything's fine. Hope that I didn't ruin the evening today so much.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. It was good. We got to go over a little bit of the news, and it was really good. So we're just glad that you're safe. That's all. So
Come on.
I had a quick question on that though, because it just surprises me that Ukrainians need training at all. Surely you're just born orc killers. I mean, you know.
We weren't born killers. We were made killers. Not born. Like yesterday, not yesterday, a couple of days ago, I had an interview, and I've been asked, like, this journalist kept asking me, like, what do I feel while, killing a human being? And I said that I never killed a human, literally.
Is that a play on words though? Are we saying that we've only killed orcs?
Yeah, exactly. What I feel, I feel a recoil, nothing more.
That's one of the darkest things I've ever heard.
What did I miss? That's like
What necessary?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dark, but it's absolutely probably a requirement necessary if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole Black Mirror episode, isn't it? How they'll have tech in the future that had the little sort of piece of tech in your head where you physically see this disgusting animal when you're killing it, and then they, like, one of the soldiers, the thing in their head sort of goes corrupt, and then they start to see who they're actually shooting. It's like a family and their children. It's like, oh my god, and they sort of like break out.
Yep, that was Men on Fire. Was that the one? Was it Men on Fire?
I think so.
I think it was. Yeah,
it's a great episode.
Yeah, Charlie Brooker, he rocks. Well,
Previously, like it depends, of course, but previously I thought, prior to my first deployment, probably I thought about it, but it's like after receiving your training, you literally don't care, because you just like shoot on sight, and you do it like automatically, very, very as fast as you possibly can, and like literally no thoughts. Probably, if we fought against some, I don't know, some other invader, more civilized or whatever, at least we could do it with, some kind of respect. But yeah, we're talking about orcs, and it's like, yeah, it's like, what kind of respect can you have to rapists and looters like that?
Exactly.
Literally
Exactly.
no respect.
Yeah. And you can't wait around to see what a person's like after the atrocities we already know have factually happened. I'm sorry, but you're all just complete pieces of orc shit.
Yeah, exactly. And worst of all, so there is a kind of Russian soldiers that don't do much atrocities, right? Because they are very busy and usually they are located kind of far from the front line. I'm talking about artillerists. But those are literally war criminals, like 100% of them, because we all know what they do. And they don't care. They literally shoot. They receive coordinates and they literally send their shells there. They don't care like where they shoot, like what kind of object is located there. And of course, in most cases, that's just, civilians. So as well as pilots, because on one hand, of course, pilots don't really see what they do. I mean, they don't see like the results of their operations. On the other hand, we talked to a bunch of captured Russian pilots, and they knew exactly that they were bombing civilian objects because they were given such orders. So yeah, I don't know what to add here, because they don't deserve respect. Some of them, like 1% of orcs, they do, because there's like this military culture that they have. Like 1% of those officers, and mostly it's among their elite soldiers, they still have some kind of respect towards us. I'm talking about like 1% of them. For example, they didn't destroy our memorial in Hostomel. So on the territory of our base, we have this statue of a Ukrainian soldier, and this is actually like part of a memorial dedicated to our fallen comrades. And they didn't completely destroy it, so they shot it. They took like I don't know how they did it, but they uninstalled the patch of our brigade from the statue, because it had like a patch with with our logo and things like that. But at least they did not completely destroy it, because I think that their officers, or some of their officers, at least some, had some kind of respect towards those things. I know literally one case of like similar case that happened on the Chernobyl power plant when they captured it, and National Guards were defending the Chernobyl power plant. They were offered to give up when they ran out of ammunition, and they gave up. And for a couple of weeks, they had connection with the outer world. So those people who captured the Chernobyl power plant, they were professionals. They were some kind of Russian Spetsnaz, and they they were people, actually. I think that I would fight with those guys with respect, I think. But as for like 99.99% of the rest of Russian invaders, that's totally different story. That's just scum.
We Claire, did you want to jump in there, and then
Well,
we'll get super chats done up?
Oh, I just had a question, but if you want to do super chats first, I was just going to pull a question from the room was getting full.
Okay. Aimee, are you all set over there? Should we
Sure, we can go
All
right
right.
into the super chats. Did we get level 70s beforehand? We did get the updates on Kherson. Is that what we did? But I'll read the super chat anyway because I don't remember reading that one out. So we've got level 70 for Canadian, $6.99 says, "Hi Starsky, any updates about Kherson? Some Russians are saying that Ukraine will launch their massive counterattack on August 24th. So that's that first one. I want to go with that.
Okay, so we don't know exactly the date of this attack, and
Right.
even majority of our militaries don't know the exact date of counterattack. I think that we will know after it has officially started. That's yeah, I'm convinced.
There we go. Thank you so much for that one. And then we have Donny Boy 73 for Canadian $5 says, "Hi everyone. Thanks for your reporting, Starsky. I also enjoyed the fireworks coming out of Crimea lately."
Oh my
That's a
god.
good one.
So yeah, so this morning I was able to watch a couple of videos from yesterday from Crimea. And yeah, locals were kind of celebrating that they were like they were recording those missiles flying and they were cheering and stuff like that. Well, some of them were like scared like hell, of course, but like, come on. So regarding the Independence Day, we have information that a bunch of threats are. Oh my god, my English sucks tonight again. So a bunch of terrorist acts is being prepared by Russians.
God damn it.
For that day, and we expect massive missile strikes because they have concentrated something like 60 cruise missiles along the border of Belarus. So yeah, so we are expecting that, of course. But they don't have enough missiles to kill each Ukrainian. They will need something like 40 million missiles for that.
There you go.
Fuck.
Wow.
Starsky, I'm going to bring it up after. I'll show everybody, but your community post with the sunflowers was awesome. It really spurred a good response from myself.
Man, did you see that? It was literally like growing on the Russian trench.
Yeah.
I mean,
I added a comment. I was like, and they were nice enough to fertilize it with their own blood. That's dedication to the sunflower or something.
Yeah, I mean, they actually brought the seeds. Oh my god,
that's wild. We'll have to show that. I'll dig it up in the background after. But Amy's got a couple more I think she wants to get to here.
Yes, please. We have one from Sam Williams for New Zealand, $100. Thank you so much, Sam. She says, "I talked to someone from Ukraine who told me the world is forgetting. So next week, a teacher and I are dedicating a lesson for the kids to learn about Ukraine and what's happening. Are there any cool facts you know that I can add to the slideshow that Google might not tell me?"
You can add a bunch of videos. For example, I stumbled upon a video where some of Russian world's followers promises to launch missiles on European cities, And let me see if I can find that video. I think that people are gonna like it. I think, yeah, something like that. Because again, I talked to foreign fighters who come to Ukraine, and the more and more of them start saying that they came because they are worried about their families that live in such countries as like Italy, Germany, France. Those guys, they say that they realize the threat that comes from Russia, because it's not gonna stop in Ukraine. They will go further if they are given such a chance. So I would advise to use some of those videos. I actually, you know what? Actually, I will find I will find time and find some videos and photos for you. So Sam, I promise I will send you an email.
Yeah, and she's she's pretty close to the heart around here, so she's definitely going to get that response. I wanted to give I wanted to give a huge shout out to Samantha W there, because she put together a video. It was titled "Russia is a Terrorist State," and it's this amazing set of clips that she professionally edited into a lovely video with Nothing Else Matters by Metallica as the soundtrack. And being Metallica, if we play it, Lars Ulrich will get a fucking money-fueled hard-on and kill the stream as fast as he can get up in the morning to count the change he dropped in the couch the day before, that money-grubbing bastard. But at the end of the show, we'll drop you a link, because we were able to upload it unlisted, and it's still there and viewable. So we'll drop you the link at the end of the show so you can go check it out, because it's a masterpiece of viewing. Y'all got to see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we do have that final super chat that I've got right now from Andy B for 20 euros. Says, hello from Austria. As we see a few expensive cars from Ukraine driven by men, please tell us, what are the circumstances, disabilities that allow men to leave Ukraine?
From what I know, there was some new law adopted to a new law dedicated to this was adopted in Ukraine like a couple of days ago. I literally haven't read it so far. So yeah, I will answer this question in the upcoming video, because yeah, because I'm not prepared. I'm sorry.
Definitely happens. But upcoming, so that's cool. Awesome. We let's see, there was no, sorry, William, no love for Lars. I'm just not a huge fan. Love the band though. Just what are you gonna do? I wanted to I don't have the link up. I got distracted fixing the little one's scooter. It's actually the second repair I did today. I did somebody's chain earlier, a little girl's, and it was the little clip that holds the chain had broken. So I had to dig into my toolbox and dig one up, but I got her all set. It was good. Oh, here. I've got a link to follow. Oh, I've got something to do. Awesome. Okay. Talking my way through this. Here we go. Will it come up? Come on. There we go. Oh, it's hold on. I got to back it up and get the audio in. I didn't realize. Let's see. Here, I'll zoom that in too. Oh, okay. I'll wait. Super chat text up. Looks like dude's got a real, face that we want to see here. So, okay. Oh, why aren't we hearing it? What? Why is there no sound? Oh, okay.
There it is.
Hold on.
идиотам, которые хотят исказить историю. Я желаю смерти. У нас Искандеры стоят. Они уничтожат всю Прибалтику. Они уничтожат Таллин. Они уничтожат Ригу. Они уничтожат Вильнюс. Все, Варшаву. Будет катастрофа. Если они будут продолжать эту вакханалию, то мы их уничтожим. Киев уничтожим. Уничтожим Бухарест, Варшаву, эту самую Бухарест. Уничтожим Будапешт. Мы их всех уничтожим. Прагу уничтожим. Все будут на коленях стоять, если они не покажут.
Intense dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Starsky, you want to take that?
Yeah, so literally we can see one of orcs that is convinced that it's not Russian tanks in Ukraine. It's like whole Europe and America fighting against Russia. They live in a distorted reality, and that's a big problem. Because, like, how can you convince such a man that, dude, open your eyes, your soldiers are in Ukraine? Come on.
Right?
Yeah, it's like everybody who fights against Russians, is a fascist, which, I thought about it today, because it's like everybody who fights against Russians nowadays is actually anti-fascist.
Yeah. Oh, but that's intense. I mean, if Charlie Welch was here, he would say that guy's right up there for the Arwen Award. Arwen is this unbelievably angry flat earther that we deal with now and then. And wow, yeah, you want to hear a POS on display for the world to see? It's that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Any chat? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Please go on.
Oh, I was going to check with Dave and Claire to see if there was any questions they wanted to get in. We got a couple of super chats we can get to, but we should get, we got to get that balance of viewer questions, super chats, right?
Claire first.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Okay, so first one we have is from Laura Zern. Question for Starsky. Could you make a video about some phrases in Ukrainian related to health and public health care? And you as for when you should see a doctor. I work in pharmacy and language barrier is hard.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I can do that. What exactly?
It looks like they want to know about some phrases in Ukraine related to health and public health care, like when you should go to a doctor or when you need some assistance with pharmacy and things like that, to help with Ukrainians. I believe they want some translations.
Okay, I will try. Because I have experience. When I was an NCO back in my brigade, I tried to teach my boys English, basically. It was a funny story. So it's like we were preparing for those international military exercise in 2016, I guess. And I kind of taught my boys how to pronounce some most popular phrases. So I thought, like, literally they will operate together with NATO militaries, right? With NATO servicemen. So they got to be able to understand what they say. And I taught my boys how to say things like, direction, number, like range, direction, range, number, and type of weapons and vehicles and stuff like that. And by this day, sometimes I meet guys from my former company, and they like, dude, I still remember how to say grenade launcher. Oh my god. Okay, I will try to help you anyways. So yeah, thank you so much for this.
I want to continue on something I brought up earlier quick before we get back to it. Starsky, you missed it, but as we went live, you know that little cartoon thing I did where we're all gathering pre-stream for the countdown, right?
Like in South Park.
Yeah. YouTube has taken to demonetizing our live streams as soon as that cartoon goes live.
Oh my God! Why?
Yeah, I can't figure it out yet. I'm going to chat with creator support tomorrow because I'm really not in the mood. But as I go in to YouTube Studio every now and then during the live stream, YouTube keeps saying, "Oh, now would be a great time to inject an ad." Oh, one of the ads that you won't bother playing because you've already demonetized the stream. Like, it doesn't even make sense, YouTube. Get your shit together. But Aimee, we've got a couple of supers we can get through and shit, right? Mm-hmm. I think she's ready in the background there if I give her an extra second.
Yes, we are. Yep, we are. We've got some ready for us. We've got one from Level 70 for Canadian $6.99 who says, has Ukraine received any NASAMs to protect their cities from Russian missiles yet?
Yeah, we were announced these, I think, by our president probably around a month ago.
Excellent.
Yeah, I cannot tell you exactly which cities are protected because we don't have such information. But I think that, yeah, we did. And I can say also that we've had quite a few Russian missile strike attempts so far, but they were not successful. So I think that it works.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then the next super chat we have is from Austin Schnell for $10. American says, greetings from Portland, Oregon, USA. Love the show. Dick, who's playing that shredding guitar solo in your outro of the show? Starsky, up the irons. Thank you so much.
That's actually from the YouTube audio library where you can use royalty-free tunes and whatnot. If you want, join our Discord and I can give you a couple of links if you want the tunes. But pretty much every song we use is from the same guy because he's one of the only people that does actually good rock and roll guitar tunes in the whole fucking YouTube library. So, but yeah, and the intro to this show, Austin, when the Ukraine update with Operator Starsky is on the screen and it shows some clips from the Ukraine, that's actually me playing everything. So, a little tidbit you might not know.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Very good. Thank you so much. And then we have Annette Wagner for $10 American says, this message is because so many people were waiting to hear your voice and so happy to see you. Also something about buying you McDonald's cheeseburgers. That's for Operator Starsky.
Thank you so much. Well, actually,
what about the Big Macs?
Well, actually, McDonald's is still closed in Ukraine. They announced that they were going to open some of their fast foods in Kiev, but still no luck. We're still waiting.
Starsky, you're missing the best joke of all. It's a no-fry zone.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a shame. It's a shame. I miss cheeseburgers so much. And a bunch of my guys, they say that like, how can you even fight in a country where McDonald's is closed? It's a shame.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the last super chat we have is from Andy B for €10. Says, Starsky, please tell us, are there Ukrainian female warriors in Russian captivity? If so, how are they treated? Thank you, everyone, for your support.
Yeah, we have information that there's still a bunch of women in Russian captivity, and not only soldiers, but also they keep a lot of civilian prisoners. Well, that's actually question that is addressed to our services that work with like Russian negotiators. From what I know, we have Tyra. She was a Ukrainian volunteer. Actually, she was a combat medic, a rescuer, and she was captured in Mariupol during the early phase of this war. And she was kept in Russian like prison for a couple of months, I guess. Recently, she was released, and you can actually Google her story. She's Tyra, Tyra. She changed a lot. She lost a lot of weight, and she says that those prisoners, and as well as she, they were beaten a lot and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you gotta Google her, because it's crazy. She was into sports. She was like, she had a great shape. She was like strong woman, and she changed dramatically after her release. She's like a different person.
That's some sad shit to hear, man. Holy shit.
But I have dropped you another link into the chat. So there's like this funny story. So recently Russians announced a combat robot that they have created and or developed. And the funny story is that this robot is actually, well, first of all, it looks funny. And the fact is that this robot was bought on AliExpress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a link in the chat.
Yeah, I got it up on the screen right now. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. So they call every such invention, they say that it has no analogs on the West. And I agree, such shit literally cannot have analogs on the West, especially if it's bought on AliExpress.
Yeah. All they did was give it a jacket and a pair of pants.
I've got a big box of Furbies. I could sell them.
Operator Starsky, question. I don't know that much about that particular weapon on its back, but would you think that that weapon, if fired, would cause the robot dog to go flying?
I don't think that it would go flying, but probably it would have its butt smashed a bit. I mean, roasted, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, oh my God! Like every time I look at things like this, I realize that just how much money were stolen from all those Russian people, as well as that dude who the one that we saw like a couple of minutes ago promising to launch missiles on European cities.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize this. Oh my God. I mean,
Yeah, because what they're being presented as if, oh, look at our great innovations and blah blah, and it's just bullshit that anybody can order if they're willing to wait a few months for it to show up because it's Alibaba, right? Come on.
It would be quite funny, Starsky, if you like strapped a tube onto the back of Hutch's back and film that. Danger dog.
Yeah, true. So yeah, and again, remember I told you about those Russian missiles that were found by our troops, and they were dismantled, and they found a bunch of those microchips that are usually used in things like laundry machines and toasters and stuff like that. They are not even military grade electronics. So it's like they're literally buy them on AliExpress and other sites, and they use it in their missiles, in their vehicles. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. There was a good chat here before we get to questions again from Ugly German Truths. I mean, can the Russians even build any robots or rockets at the moment? I mean, they have 0 chip factories in the country, and that's got to be a big thing. I mean, you got to have chips.
That's the thing, bro. You see, some people keep saying that like it's genius because they buy random scrap and they make this scrap work, it can fly or it can move or kill or whatever, it does some functions. But guys, it's not genius. Genius is when you make a freaking factory, you employ people, you give them salaries, you give them some kind of future, you give them some kind of work. And the most important thing is that you employ people who can actually create your own microchips, and this is how you become famous, and this is how you become successful. It's not like buying some cheap crap from AliExpress and turn it into weapons. I mean only ISIS terrorists do that.
But there is a similarity here too. Like the U.S. right now just announced a huge financial package to get chip production back on track in the United States, and it's because they're seeing this from the outside and going, you know what, we better at least have a fab of our own in case, right? It's a wake up alert.
Yeah, it's true. It's a wise decision actually, because they realize that it's better to have those factories on your own ground instead of in countries that can support terrorism.
Oh, totally. DK, you wanted to jump in, buddy?
Yeah, just springboarding off what you're talking about, the technology and the equipment, and you mentioned ISIS. I saw a video the other day talking about the amount of equipment that was left behind when the US left Afghanistan, and it's basically all fallen into the hands of the Taliban. And the amount, the equipment is vast. It's a vast amount of equipment. They're saying now that the Taliban are better equipped than the Russian army. It's incredible. I mean, I don't really have a comment. I don't really have a question, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
It's a good one.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah. The amount they got, hundreds of thousands of night vision goggles. Just incredible, incredible equipment, and of course, they're all dressed up in all the gear and just marching around, and it's incredible.
It's just the image of them all in their robes, just head to toe in robes, but they've just got these really long.
Oh no, the robes are gone. the robes are gone because all the military uniforms that were left behind. They got all the equipment they could possibly need, well equipped. It's staggering. It really is.
Oh man. That's it's a sign of the times, I guess, maybe, you know. It's not a good look though, is it, Starsky? I mean, wow. You know.
Yeah, and another funny thing is that as soon as Taliban took power in Afghanistan, Russians invited their representatives to Kremlin, and actually Russia became the first country that officially recognized terrorists as their, like, you know, official representatives of Afghanistan.
Well, they're soulmates.
Yeah.
All right. If it's okay, I'm going to jump right in and do some super chats, please.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. And we've got from Claire, from level 70. Sorry, Claire. I was reading your name. For Canadian $6.99 says, Turkey wants to build a Bayraktar plant in Ukraine and Russia threatened to destroy it. How do you think this plant will be built? Underground?
It's a great idea, actually. It's not impossible to build it underground. And after multiple missile strikes, by the way, we have missile alarm at this moment here in Kiev. After multiple missile strikes that we had in Ukraine, I think that building barracks, shelter, of course, shelters are usually built underground, but building like barracks, offices, and everything underground is a very, very good idea, in my personal opinion.
Excellent. That was a good one. Thank you so much. Then we have Austin Schnell for $10 American says, U.S. Special Forces use a lot of joint tactical air controllers, air to ground, close air support from planes. Do Ukraine use the same tactics?
Yes, we do, only not in such scale as our American friends, because we don't have so many airplanes, unfortunately. But usually, yeah, we do when we can. And recently, we are using our air aviation more and more every day, because we are successfully suppressing Russian anti-air measures with those magical missiles that were received from the US. I'm talking about AGM-88 anti-radar radar missiles, and they are very, very effective.
Excellent. And thank you so much. And then we have one last thing. More Mule is now a new member. Welcome to Shill Grandmaster. Thank you so much and welcome to the family. We have a new member.
Woohoo! Welcome to the family, More Mule. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for your support. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Well, we've got pub chat slated to start at 10 after 4 Pacific time. You can see on the clock on the wall there. So should we maybe, you know, get to some roundtable wrap-ups and hit the button so DKG can get set up for pub chat?
Absolutely. I think we absolutely should. So I shall start around the room right away. And let's get to Fallacy Dave. Dave, what are your thoughts on this evening, please?
Sure thing. It's been a lot of fun. I just wanted to very quickly get a short answer to a question that we didn't get round to from Robski, which is a prediction for the weekend fight this weekend, between Usyk and AJ. Who do you think is going to win?
Good one.
As a Ukrainian, of course, I think that Usyk's going to win.
Yeah, same.
Even despite the fact that he supported Russians before this invasion, but he changed his mind when Russians captured his home near Irpin. So Yeah, I think that he's gonna win, and actually, he is a very talented boxer. There's like two kinds of boxers. You are either talented or you are like Tyson Fury. You just wanted. You had no money to feed your family, so you had to start boxing. And Usyk is very, very talented. He is, like, spends all his time learning and developing what he knows already. I think that 100% that he's going to win.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. And then we have up next, we have Claire S. Bear. Claire, what are your thoughts on this evening?
I thought it was really informative. Thank you, Operator Starsky. Thank you so much for, giving us more information on what's going on. And I enjoyed the chat with everyone about everything and Dave's questions, and it was good. I always enjoy it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Mallory's Asylum. Mallory, what are your thoughts on this evening?
Yes. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions you can.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy Spirit,
no.
activate. Holy Spirit,
Oh, my
activate.
God.
Activate. Activate. All right, let's go.
I saved that for you, Mal.
Yup, thank you. I couldn't say it better than that video right there. So thank you. Yes. It's exactly what's on my mind. And carry on.
Thank you so much. That's brilliant. I think we also have a super chat in the mix there too, as well. If I can click it. There we go. From Sam Williams for New Zealand, $10. Quick shout out to Ukraine. Victory will be yours soon with a heart, and we'll be here to help rebuild. Thank you so much, Sam. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Sam is absolutely legendary.
Yes, she is. She's brilliant. Thank you so much, Sam. So that's awesome. And next up, we have Commander 401. Commander, what are your thoughts on this evening?
You guys did an excellent job of holding things together until Starsky got here. And thank you, Starsky, for coming and being very informative and just an overall great guy. Can't wait for the war to be over and to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And next up, we have DKG Custom. DKG, what are your thoughts on this evening?
Yeah, well, I mean, I came in late, so apologies to everybody on that one. I'm really, really sorry. I'll do like 20 laps around the parade ground tonight as recompense. And I just wanted to say thank you very much, Starsky, for coming along, sharing the shit with us, and we'll see you next time. And until then, kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major. Love you and slobbery crazy.
Thank you so much, bro. Heroям слава.
That's brilliant. All right. Thank you.
Don't forget pub chat in 10 minutes.
Holy, so adorable.
Thank you so much. And next up, we do have our very own Operator Starsky. Operator Starsky, what are your thoughts on tonight?
Yeah, I'm happy that I was able to make it tonight and see you guys, and at least try to answer some questions. Sorry, I wasn't really prepared because again I've been away doing our black magic things. But yeah, very happy to see you tonight, and thank you so much for your questions and your support.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to see that you're safe and everything is okay. So awesome. And thank you for coming too. We love it. So thank you. Next up, we have Dick Dawson. Dick, what are your thoughts on this evening?
Tonight went awesome. Very, very happy with the way the panel carried things as we were doing our thing there before Starsky got here. So awesome, very much. And let's see. I would say that, you got to give Putin the proper fucking respect that he deserves.
Shut up, Meg.
Because he is seriously the golden cock.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh.
And if I could dance on your fucking grave, it would be to the grubby dance. So in the words of every woman who's ever had to see you naked, I sign off on this one right now by saying, fuck you, motherfucker. And yeah, I think I'm good.
Excellent.
How about yourself, Aimee?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So before we close out, I do need to get this super chat from Donna Neil Donna. She sends $5 American and sends 3 peeking hippos as a sticker. That's so cute. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So thank you.
There's one more last minute one from Samantha Williams in the chat too.
Oh,
or did we do that?
We did.
We did do that one.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to put it up again anyway because she's cool.
Yes, she is. It's brilliant. But yes, I do want to thank everyone in the panel for coming. Thank you so much. We really interacted very well tonight, so it was really awesome. I especially want to, yes, the Elmings is Poutine. I definitely want to thank everyone in the chat for coming as well, for all of your support and for laughing at my pronunciations. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Just look at my first name. You'll be able to tell why. So thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you all have, and thank you all so much for your support. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night, fellow babies.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Should I hit the button now?
Yes, please.
Nah,
Should
we'll
we-
just
should
hang
we-
out. Want to hang out?
Yeah, well, we
Wanna
could
hang
tell Poutine he's a living piece of dog shit again.
Sure.
I'd rather go get
okay.
some poutine.
Hey,
yeah, let's go
yeah,
get some
Poutine.
Yay!
Stop dripping from the sickly ass of a dog, you son of a bitch.
dear. It's over. Go home.